G'day and welcome back to Scarvig in the Atlas. We're going to have a quick look at the patch notes that have just been released with the Dolphin update. And as you can see, my warehouse and market are still invisible. I haven't fixed that. But we might as well jump in and have a look at the new buildings. The new buildings can be found under the skill tree in the automation section. And from there you can then build them in the smithy. And what I'm going to do is I'll build a mine and I'll build myself a quarry, and I'm going to take them out into the field and I'll place them both, probably one after the other, seeing as the distance that you have to place them apart. And we'll have a look at what they look like and see how effective they are with the resources. Alright, let's get this bad boy put down and have a look at what it looks like. Alright. Yeah, probably not what I would have expected from a quarry. But it is one way of representing a quarry, I guess. It's interesting that you can jump up on top on the platform. Let's get some coal in this thing. There we go. Oh, yep, they've still got that little flame happening. Apparently it's a known bug and it's with all farmhouses. I'm sure they'll fix that eventually. That's not a critical bug, really. Alright, let's wait for some resources. Alright, here we go. Yes, we have some radiolite and slate. I'm fairly certain that's my rocks. And you can see here there's also tin in the rocks that was not collected along the way. Alright, so that's working as you would expect. And you know, I expect the exact same thing from the mine, so we might as well put that down now. Alright, let's have a look at this one. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a mine. It looks like it'd probably be, maybe if I turned it around and faced the giant rock on the back end towards the building, it would actually probably make it look a little bit better. Now, where's the flame? No? Can't actually see the flame on this one. It's not up top. That's pretty snazzy looking building though. I don't mind it, it just needs to be facing towards a building. Oh, sorry, a rock face. Oh, there it is. Oh well, that's alright. As I said, it's not a critical bug, it's just something that they know and it exists. And it's fun to try and look at. Alright, we'll wait for some more resources. Alright, there it is. We have some tin. I feel like I just momentarily saw that go down by one. I'm not sure what used that. Maybe I'm in range of my warehouse. Not sure it would only take one. Anyway, that's the mine and the quarry all done. Yeah, as far as patches go, I imagine this was actually quite an easy one for them to put out, because it would just be a copy and paste of the existing items. Anyway, from here we should probably go and have a look at the next thing, which will be the coffee seeds and the seed vendors. I'll get this guy parked if I can control him somehow. Oops. And get myself over to a Freeport and see what's there. Alright, here we are over at the D9 Freeport. And this is the seed vendor, but for some reason I can't actually interact with him. Not sure what's going on with that. Oh there, I might be able to... Can I still get seeds from regular plants? Let's see if we can get this. Pepper. Come on, pepper. Stop giving me all the things around the pepper. Give me the pepper. Alright, there we go. Alright, yes, you can still get seeds from the regular method. It's just that with the coffee seeds, you're only supposed to be able to get them from the vendor. And apparently I can't use the vendor. I might have to go over to the other, like the start Freeport, and see if the vendor over there is actually working. Alright, there you are, around the side of the place. And yes, I still can't interact with it. Commodities vendor. You still work. I haven't really looked at the commodities vendor. It's obviously where you can trade for different types of resources for a bit of gold and a different other type of resource. Yeah, anyway. Wow, so the vendor in single player just does not work. It'd be interesting to hear if on a server the vendors actually work. Although I probably could just log in to a Freeport and actually have a look and see what's going on. But at least for single player, you know, it's My single player is not working right now. If other people want single player it works for them, also let me know down in the comments, that would be good. Okay, well I've spawned in a coffee seed, and I'm going to destroy my maze here, and we'll try planting a coffee seed and revisit a little bit later on in the episode, once it's had a chance to grow a little bit more. It's been a while since I've done plants. There we go. Alright, we'll come back soon and we'll see whether the coffee seed has started to grow. Alright, the next one is the dolphin. So under the Beast Mastery tree, we should find a new underwater taming skill. And once you've got that, we'll basically head out and see if we can find a dolphin. Which boat to take? Might take the galleon. I think it's got a diving attachment, because I want to test the diving attachment to see whether you can use that while taming. You've got to love single player. Now I heard them. Where are they? When I logged out the other night, recording all of this, I had no dolphins with me around my boat, and now I've got 2. Let's access. Yes, you did it. Quick, the diving suit. Oh, have I got it on me? Yes, fish meat. So the dolphins are supposed to be a passive tame. Oh, there's one. We got to get to it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, we gave it one. Wow. You're obviously not going to have the benefit of what I just did, which is I've got very, very high taming rates. This thing's going to get away from me, isn't it? Come back here. No. I thought this might be a problem with the taming of sea creatures. They can just swim away from you. Yes, come back. Done. We have a level... Ooh, level 19. That's pretty good. Nice. Now... There we go. Now, I should have a buff. Yeah, there it is there. The intelligence buff is what the dolphins basically give you. You don't need a saddle to ride them, which is also wonderful. They have a bite attack and a secondary of a jump. So let's have a look at that. We get to the surface and jump. Okay, so you can basically just do the thing that they natively do. Now, I can see that my oxygen indicator is actually going down. So, you do need to consider breath while you're actually riding the dolphin. Let's attack a fishy. Ooh. Okay, well the fish died quickly, as you would expect. But 15 damage on a dolphin? Okay. It's not a huge amount, but it's something. The benefit is that they are... oh wow. Especially when you actually run with it. That's pretty fast. That's good. The other thing that you can also do with the dolphins is it mentions in the notes that you can breed them. So I will probably try and tame a second one. And breed some and actually see how that process goes. And I'll have to fence off an area of my my little port so that we can actually house the dolphins without them getting killed off. My problem is it's like, what do you do with the dolphins now that you've got them? You can't obviously take them on a ship, because they're not going to follow you onto a ship, right? Okay, so my dolphin did not follow. Well, if it did, it was not able to keep up. That's a problem. So obviously when you're taming these things, you have to be expecting to swim them back, not necessarily sail them back. Now I need to go find it. Alright, so I'm back at base. I've brought everything back, and here is the dolphin swimming around in my water. I turned enemy invisible on just for the purposes of being able to just have a look. I haven't bothered with the infinite stats at this point in time. But yes, the dolphin, here it is. I will go and get myself another one, and I will experiment with breeding, but I'll probably do that in a separate episode just specifically for breeding and potentially housing of underwater creatures. Because what I will probably end up doing is building some kind of a gate, hopefully an underwater gate. Alright, I've got a random bear sitting in my water over there. It's probably one of my tames that I accidentally whistled. But I could use the edge of the shipyard and the building here to build an underwater wall, much like I have already with a lot of the stuff here, and put some gates so that the creatures can be housed quite comfortably in my own little lagoon, and they won't get attacked by creatures, and it'll probably stop all these mantas from coming in and assaulting me every time I go for a swim in the water. Alright, for the sake of the video and me being a little bit lazy, let's do this. Kill. Boom. We have killed a squid. I can drag the body, but I can't do anything else with it. But I did, however, get the squid tentacles, which is the thing that we were looking for. It's a new ingredient that they've added to the game, which is similar to the rhino horn. So it's an item that will drop and land in your inventory once you've actually done so. Now let's get back to ground and we'll have a look what's going on with that. Okay, so the new resource, the squid tentacles. I can see that it has a bar, which is a spoil timer, but according to the patch notes, the squid tentacles are not meant to actually spoil. They are actually drying. So I assumed that the spoil timer is probably the dry timer. So what we might actually do is we'll split that in half. Oh, it actually started a new timer altogether. Ooh, let's split all. Do that. That's interesting. So it resets the timer when you split them. That's actually a little bit more creative than I've seen before. Don't mind that, because normally when you would split items in Arc, or even this one, let's actually try that one there, split in half, right? Oh no, so this one actually does do it. In Arc, if you were to split the stack, it would keep its spoil timer. Anyway, so if you're looking to dry these things faster, because apparently the dried resource is going to become useful in the future, to increase your chance of spoiling things faster, obviously you want to split them. And in terms of the squid that I spawned in, apparently the giant squid, which is the thing that I actually did spawn in, it spawns more likely in the desert biomes, whereas if you go to the deep sea trenches and you head down to the just at the top of the deep sea trench itself, there are trench squids that actually spawn there, and I would assume that they would drop the squid tentacles too. They're probably a little bit more reliable to find as well, given that the trench squid spawn at the trenches and you know where those locations are. At any rate, one of these days I'll actually do a video of hunting down a squid. It's not something that I've actually done yet, albeit I have done a trench squid, but not the giant one. So that's the one that I probably want to go and have a look at. Alright, well that's the new resource. We'll have to spend a little bit of time and just let some of these dry out, so we can actually have a look at the dried resource as well. Well, while we're actually waiting, it's probably easy just to leave the screen as is, and I'll pull the notes in and talk about the more boring stuff while we wait for the dried stuff to occur. They've changed some stuff to the bowlers so that a player can no longer stand while entrapped in the bowler. The duration of the bowler has been reduced from 5.5 to 2.5. I would assume that's specific to players. Oh yeah, duration of player bowler. And recovering, you cannot be entrapped again for 10 seconds. So that's a PvP specific thing around the bowler. Headshot multipliers have been reduced. Obviously they're trying to make it so that combat's more engaging by not being trapped so long, and then obviously you don't die as quickly by having critical strikes. Fixed a critical strike with the sword. Explosive barrels went through a number of changes again. Basically your cannons and things are going to be immune to the AoE from the explosive barrels, but they can still take a direct hit from an explosive barrel. It's specifically just the splash damage. And then there has been an actual reduction to the players from the explosive barrel. I don't know what they were beforehand, but there's still a reduction in there nonetheless. Now, the farmhouses, obviously we have the variants. They've changed a few of the stats around them, decay times and things like that. They're still doing tweaks in terms of how the farmhouses. I actually expect a lot of changes to the farmhouses, because I actually looked at it and thought, wow, it would be really nice if I could build all of these and make myself a little village with all the buildings kind of nearby so that you can see them. But you're not allowed to really do that, because you have to have them so far apart you can barely see them, and then in single player when you log out and log back in, the buildings go invisible anyway, so you can't see them. But I would have loved to have just set up a little mini port, and then within visible distance of the port you could actually see the lumber yards, you could see the quarries and the mines working in the background. And I actually think that would be really nice from a role play or a village design point of view, it would be interesting to be able to do that. But it looks like it's not to be yet. With the tames, the torpor has been reduced from the horse's rear kick, obviously because they've actually provided the taming arrows, or the torpor arrows, so I'm guessing that's where that's coming in. The rabbits can wear hats. Okay, good on them. Bears and rabbits now receive 10% of the stat bonus equipped from the hats. Well, that's pretty cool. But why bears? Rabbits are just a shoulder pet, right? But a bear is something active. It's a bit different. Maybe they'll expand that to other things. One of the things they actually mentioned when they tweeted out these patch notes coming was that the grill now actually has a weight to it. People were using that on their ships as a structural thing because apparently it's a stone structure, so it takes quite a lot to damage. And so you could use the grill in a PvP setting to protect your ship. And I think there may have even been an inventory thing. Basically, you could store a bunch of stuff and the grill itself weighed nothing. So they've increased it from 1 kilogram to 12 kilograms on the grill to try and balance that one out. A number of the wooden things can now be built at the smithy, which is wonderful. I like that sort of thing. It's kind of that fire and forget. You need 100 foundations. Well, load the materials up in the smithy, queue up 100 builds, and then walk away and go and do something else. It was just, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. They fixed some stuff with the trade routes. I really wish they'd actually just fix the trade routes for single player, because if you can trade in between your own company, I feel that the same code could be utilized on single player where you can trade with yourself and transfer goods from island to island. But, you know, that's just something that I can hope for and probably will never happen. Alright, well, that being all said and done, these things are still drying, so I'm going to go and get myself over to my shipyard. Let's go and have a look at that. We're now looking at the shipyards. I've basically spawned in a new one because my existing ones don't have the benefit of the new system, which is a bit of a pain. I basically just spawned in this one, and apparently it's a mythical one. It's obviously not the best mythical one, which is a little bit surprising. I'll have to see if I can play around with that. But we can see here that instead of the schooner costing 5,000 gold, it now costs 6,900. Apparently the maximum range for the highest durability is 10,000 for a schooner, 5,000 basically for the lowest level of schooner in terms of cost. So they've added this range where the durability adds to the cost of the vessels. Brigandines 18,000 to 36,000, and then galleons 50,000 to 100,000, and so you have to pay more initially to get your ships out. I haven't been able to discover the menu that they talked about for buying levels. The buying of levels seems to be potentially capped between levels 56 and 60. So yes, there's meant to be an interface somewhere here amongst the ship stats, because it says that levels can be purchased when viewing the ship stat menu, and it's not there. At least not for me. But this is a level 1 schooner, and the specific keywords they've written there is added the option to purchase ship levels 56 to 60 at a rate of 75 gold per 1000 XP. So I suspect I need to get my vessel, my ship, to level 56 first, and then you can use gold as an additional resource to level your ship faster to its endpoint. But you can still level your ship to max XP without it. Unless somebody else on a server has a different experience, or on a single player and it's just my single player that's bugged out, and I can't test it, which is always a possibility. Yeah, that's what's going on with the ships right now. Now, before I close out and I guess I give my final thoughts, we might as well get over and have a look at the coffee plant and see if it's actually grown. Wow, nice. It has. There we go. So this is what a coffee plant looks like, apparently. Albeit that it's in the dark. I've got my light of my man standing up there doing it. Let's harvest some fruit. We've got some coffee beans. The new resource being a coffee bean. Oh, it has a bit of a spoil time. 2 hours, not too bad. I can go and shove that in my salt bag though, that's fine. The other thing, I've got some dried tentacles now. They've actually dried out, and so that's what the image looks for the dried tentacles. They've said that there's a future use for these items, so to start stockpiling them now, but you know, that's up to you, I guess. Once it's dried, you can see that it does not spoil at all, so it's a resource that you then keep forever on. You're supposed to be able to eat the non-dried ones, maybe. No, you can eat them. It's obviously the calcium resource, is it? No, it's the fish resource. Yeah. It's interesting. I'll be interested to see where they actually go with that one. What is it that is actually going to be used for? No idea. But it will be used for something. The coffee can be used to reduce torpor damage that you take. I think you make a coffee drink. You drink the coffee and you get a 10-minute buff that reduces the amount of torpor that you take. And that's basically what that's used for. Alright, so we're at the end of the video, and I'm very happy with the volume of changes that they've actually made in this particular patch. There seems on the face of things to be quite a lot of changes, albeit that most of the changes are copies of code that exist already. So the farmhouse variants are already just a copy of an existing thing. The plants and the resources are a copy of an existing thing that they've already done. They're just obviously changing the background code to suit. That's not to say that there's no effort involved, and as I said, I really like the volume of changes in here. It's actually quite good. A big meaty patch, and hopefully we'll see the same level of release week on week as they keep saying that they're going to do. And certainly I hope that we see a lot more from the person in charge of taming and how that's actually going to happen, because they obviously have the dolphin now in the game, and that would hopefully be the brainchild of the person looking after that, and we'll get to see some of the other creatures that they put in for taming and go from there. Alright, well I think that'll probably wrap it up for the episode, and what I can hope is that I'll release another episode soon where maybe I'll do some breeding of dolphins, and potentially go and do a video where I chase down a squid, because I haven't actually done that before. Alright, I'll make sure that if you did find this enjoyable, you go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, subscribe, and leave a comment down below about how you feel the progress of Atlas is and how the changing face of the development team is affecting the game. Now, I do like the engagement. I try to respond to comments where I can, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.